Well, wildfires in California are wreaking havoc on the state and could cause a financial crisis due to business disruption, lowered property values, and more. So to chat about this, we are joined now by Corey Beck, CEO at Ford Coppola Winery. So Corey, I know that the wildfires are not new. Unfortunately, 2020 has brought many, but last year, Kincade wildfire impacted the area of your winery. I'm wondering what the situation on the ground is for you guys right now. I had been seeing on your site that you guys actually had to close your tasting room because of all of the smoke. I'm wondering if you could paint a picture for everyone at home about what it's like in your area right now.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kristin. Great question. So now we've got, with the fires, typically, as you brought up the Kincade fire, which happened in late October last year, this one and these around California are a little bit unusual because we had some lightning strikes. We actually had over 10,000 lightning strikes the middle part of August, which set then fires throughout California. And so it wasn't just one, it was multiple fires throughout. And so that's kind of what we've been seeing. And we are right there in Sonoma County. The view behind me is at the Tucker car at the tasting room. And normally this time of year, we'd be full of guests and over at the pool. But yeah, we are closed today. And it's kind of a double whammy for us here in wine country, because we were allowed to open up our tasting rooms and sit outside during COVID. Well, now with the fires and smoke and ash, we would normally then bring everybody inside. Well, we can't do either right now. So it's been a little challenging.
So talk to me a little bit more about that. I'm glad you mentioned it, this double whammy, because first, coronavirus was closing businesses left, right, and center everywhere, but particularly in food and beverage, as you were just mentioning, now able to go outside, but of course the wildfires preventing that. I mean, how has this year been financially for you guys? How big of a hit have you or other wineries around been taking?
Yeah, great question. So for us, our brand is, we do a lot of work with off-premise partners. And so, the Costco's of the world and Targets. And so it was interesting. Going into 2020, the wine business was already slipping into its own little recession before any coronavirus or anything. And wine sales were kind of flat. Spirits were taking some market share. And so if you had to kind of drop a marketing plan of how could we get people to fall back in love with wine, is like I used to say, is that, well, let's see, you tell everybody that they can't travel, that they have to stay at home with their kids, and then, oh, by the way, schools are closed, so now you have to teach. What better way to get people to drink wine, right? So it wasn't as bad as people may think. I mean, without question, the on-premise side of things with our restaurant partners, absolutely, that's been challenging. But we were able to overcome that with the amount of sales that we were doing off-premise. So we were treading water. How about that? And then, now with the fires, especially with our wineries in Sonoma, Napa, and all throughout the wine country, that rely on our consumers to come. You had brought up earlier, I was watching, and you said September is your favorite month, and it's ours as well, because it's harvest time. Kids are going back to school, and now all of a sudden, we see the guests that we normally see. It's a busy time of year. We're not seeing those. So, yeah, for our DTC, which is our direct-to-consumer side of the business, it is challenging right now.
I want to ask you about the state, because I was seeing just 2 weeks ago, California actually scrapped a bill to fund wildfire and climate change projects. I know that some part of this wildfire that's in California right now is actually due to a gender reveal party, but even leaving that to the side, there's a lot to be said about the wildfires increasing every single year in California due to climate change. I'm wondering if you think that the state, frankly, needs to be doing more to prevent the wildfires that continue to ravage the state year after year after year.
Yeah, I grew up in Sonoma County, and I was fortunate enough to, my grandfather was as part of the fire department. And in fact, he fought in the big fire called the Hanley Fire in 1964. And that was the same fire that burned in 2017, the Tubbs Fire. So, here's some interesting data. In 64, it burned the same amount of land, but only 150 structures. And in 2017, it was called the Tubbs Fire, burned the same amount of land, but it burned over 5,000 structures, right? So we not only have areas now that were not encumbered by new homes and whatnot. So that's also a large part of what we're seeing. There was also, too, we did a lot of, way back in the 70s, a lot of controlled burns during times when you can do it. And so that's what we're starting to fuel these fires, is the underbrush and some of those things. So those are things that were done, many years ago to help with this. So your point's right on.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.